here we go again. Accordion Cool. Coach Dave, that's me. That's me. We're going to do it again. Well, I was trying to figure out what to play in this week's show, and I just happened to look at my song list, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of the page that caught my eye is there's a whole bunch of songs starting at the beginning of the alphabet with the letter A. I said, well, why not? I know all those songs. I like those songs. Let's do a show today with songs that start with the letter A. So the first one, 1918, didn't come from a show or anything, just a couple of guys sat down and said, let's write a cool song that's going to last for more than 100 years, and they did. And it's called After You've Gone. Now, they don't tell you what happens after you've gone, or I've gone, or somebody's gone, but jazz standard for over 100 years, After You've Gone. Now, this next song, actually the first three songs, didn't come from anything special. A couple of guys, a couple of girls, a couple of guy and a girl, who knows. A couple of people sat down and said, let's write a song, and they did. And this next one, you don't hear a lot, but it's kind of a fun song to play. It's called Ain't She Sweet? Ain't She Sweet? So let's go. Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. 1927, almost 100 years old. The one good thing about songs like this is if you record them, if they're over 100 years old, you don't have to pay royalties. Now, any of the albums, or all the albums I've done, I've certainly paid the royalties because, hey, I'm not a songwriter, but for those people who are songwriters, they're due justice, and they don't make a lot. I mean, you record an album, it might cost you, a couple $100 for like 12, 15 songs on the album. So Now, you know they're not getting all that because the people, you know, the recording folks, you know, they're collecting it and then they're sending it out, so they're getting their cuts. So you know the folks that write these songs, even though they're probably long gone and it just goes to their estate, they're getting a few bucks. So I never minded paying the royalties because I know how difficult it is to play some of the things. I can't imagine what I'd like to try to write them. But anyway. Okay, this next one, another classic from 1931. Now I'm going to throw a little curve at Austin behind the glass, because we didn't test this sound. So this is a strange sound. This is called jazz scat on the sound, and when you hear it, you know what I mean. So, tune called "All of Me." So let's see what happens. All of Me, 1931. That's again a jazz classic, and I play that probably all my live shows. You'll hear me somewhere along the line playing All of Me. It's kind of a neat little tune, and it just like I said, it's one that you will hear once in a while nowadays, as opposed to the previous one. Now, if you notice so far, these tunes are all about the same tempo because they all came from the same column. It just sat there, looked at me. So there won't be a lot of variation in tempo, but I hope you will notice a variation in the tunes. Now, this next one, I think is the greatest song ever written. It's my favorite song. Art Van Dam, I think he liked it because on just about every album he does play this song. Not quite as well as I. Yeah, right. Not in my wildest dreams. But it's written in 19 39, and it did come from a show, and had not heard of the show, so I guess the show folded. Fortunately, the song did not. It's called All the Things You Are. So let's see what we can do with this. All the Things You Are. I believe that was written by Jerome Kern for a particular show. All the Things You Are. My favorite song of all time. Well, let's go to 1947 for this next one. And this did come from a show you probably heard of called Brigadoon. Brigadoon was the name of the show. I don't know a lot about the show, but this song came from it, and again, it's a classic. It's called Almost, not quite, but almost like being in love. So let's see what it sounds like. almost, not quite, almost like being in love. Now, of course, you heard a couple of squeaks and squawks because guess who hit the wrong tab, but we got through with it. Now, something else you might or might not have noticed. Every song has what we call a bridge, and that's the part that doesn't sound like the first part, doesn't sound like the end part. It's in the middle, and it's generally altogether different. People make their most mistakes on the bridge because sometimes they're hard to remember. You may or may not have noticed, got a hair in my mouth, that all of a sudden I was in the bridge to All the Things You Are halfway through that song. But I snuck out of it. But it's a very easy thing to do, and I'll be playing sometimes and say, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong song. And of course, because you don't hear that part of the song that often, most people don't even notice it. So I probably should keep my mouth shut. But anyway, that does happen. 1956, there was a movie. I'm sure there were a lot of movies in 1956. This one was a blockbuster called Around the World in 80 Days. And a fellow named, I think the character's name was Phineas T. Fogg. I don't know why I always remember that. He floated around the world in a hot air balloon in 80 days. And of course, the song was written for the movie and written as a waltz. Well, you know Coach Dave doesn't play those silly waltzes, not because they're not nice, they're nice, but they're just a little too dainty. You can't kind of get down and dirty a little bit with them. So we do it in 4/4 time, and I'm not sure if it was Mancini. I don't know who wrote it, but it was originally written only as an instrumental, and of course when the movie became such a hit, the song became a hit. Hey guys, let's put some words to it and lyrics. So here we go, Around the World. Around the World, or Around the World in 80 Days, which was the name of the movie and the actual full name of the song. Now that was very popular in the accordion world back in the 1960s when I had a whole bunch of students, and a lot of the students were playing that song because it just kind of caught on. Well, you know, I thought we'd have some extra time today, so I've added a tune, and as I've said 100 times before, no charge, no charge. This tune I play pretty much in all my shows, because it kind of describes what we do here. It's called Anything Goes, and that's kind of like the jazz world. Anything goes. Sometimes anythings are better than other anythings, but Anything Goes, 1934, came from a show of the same name. No, the show wasn't called Same Name. The show was called Anything Goes. Here we go. Anything goes, and speaking of going, we gotta go. We're almost down to the end of our time. Once again, thank y'all for watching, listening, tuning in, however it is you get this show. And of course, as usual, the big guy behind the glass, we made at least try to make a couple of adjustments today just to make everything sound as good as you can. So if it sounds good, that's Austin's fault. If it doesn't sound good, it must be a defect in the instrument. That's what it is. So, and I'm going to say, bring the young'uns in. Let them see, listen, hear these tunes which they've probably never heard before. And it's the saying that they tell you, well, the music sounds better on vinyl. Well, the reason it does is because the music was better, and that's the music we play. So let's go home with Anything Goes.